Hello family, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Angela and this channel is all about beauty, fashion, and life. Now, if you're not new here, you know a few months ago or some time ago, I don't honestly know when it was, I asked you guys if you'd like for me to do a series of videos on how to dress a specific body to dress a specific body shape, and I got an overwhelming yes from you guys, so I thought I'd go ahead and do that. So this is the first video in that series, and today's video is all about my tips and tricks of what I think are best ways or what I think are best practices for dressing the pear-shaped body. Now, if that is something you'd like to hear, then stay tuned. Now, let's get started. Now, before I get started, I know you've seen this sweatshirt here. This is still Black History Month. And again, I'm going to honor and tell you about my alma mater, North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University. It is the largest HBCU in the country, and it's famous for its engineers. I am a nurse. I graduated with my undergrad at North Carolina A&T. It is one of those things, or one of the places that brings back really, really great memories for me. Growing up, I grew up, of course, in Greensboro, North Carolina, where A&T is, but I actually grew up probably 2 city blocks from A&T. So I have fond memories of hearing the band practice on the football field, just running around in our yard and just being happy and just hearing the boom, boom, boom of the band and the hit of the cymbals. And it was just fun times and great, great memories. So before I get started, also just know that regardless of what your shape is, regardless of what your size is, you are beautifully and wonderfully made. God created you in the image that He wanted you to have, and I want you to embrace that and love yourself. Now let's start talking about a pear-shaped body. Again, a pear-shaped body is a shape and not a size. So you can have a woman that is a pear-shaped. She can be a size 2, or she can be a size 22. It's all about the dimensions. Some of the characteristics of a pear-shaped body are slender or narrow shoulders or sloping shoulders. So typically a woman who has a pear-shaped body will have very, very narrow shoulders. She will have a small to a medium-sized bust. She will have a very defined waist, one of those just beautiful defined waists. And she'll have that defined waist because she'll have a larger hips and more fuller thighs. So her hip to shoulder to thigh ratio is very different than, as say, an hourglass lady. What a pear-shaped lady will often notice is if she gains weight, she would typically gain it in the lower abdomen and the hips and the thigh area first before she gains it any other place on her body. So as a pear-shaped lady, you need to ask yourself 2 questions when you're picking out your clothes or when you're going shopping or when you're trying to get dressed. Is your goal to accentuate your curves? Do you want to let them all hang out? Hey, I have these, they are great. And yes, they are great. But is that something you want to do? You want to say, these are great, I have no problem with them, I want to highlight these. Or do you want to balance your shape? Do you want to try to balance your shoulders with your hips and your waist and your thighs? And either way is fine. But you just need to know the answer to those 2 questions. And that will determine not only what you're going to wear for the day, but the type of items that you pick and choose when you go shopping. For this video, I'm going to primarily talk about balancing your body because I think that's what most women are wanting to do. Yes, they are proud of their shape and they like that, but they truly want to balance their body and their proportions. Now, if you want to accentuate your curves and accentuate your hips and your smaller waist and your bust line, then your choice of clothing is just going to be choose items that are tighter or more form-fitting, and just kind of maybe a lot of the opposite of what I'm talking about. So you'll be able to pick up on it as I discuss what you should and sometimes what you should not choose if you're trying to balance your overall look. So first I'm gonna talk about tops. So the goal with tops are to broaden your shoulders by bringing interest or volume to your shoulders, and that's going to balance your hips. So first thing, to add interest to your upper body, what you want to do is add bright colors, or you can add patterns, you can add stripes, horizontal stripes to the top. You can buy tops that have bows or have a lot of interest or embellishments up here, or if you don't want to do a lot of embellishments or colors, you can add a lot of layered necklaces. That brings the eye in, draws a lot of interest up here. You can do a lot of lace, a lot of flutter. You can also add some interest on your shoulders. You can add different sleeve types like a flutter sleeve or a tulip sleeve. You can add ruffles. You can just add designs, just anything that will visually bring your eye in and up this way. Now, if you don't want to add a lot of interest, what you can also do is add some volume. And to add volume, you can do things such as wear tops with a lot of puff sleeves. And the sleeves do need to stop at the elbow, because if you wear a top that has a puff sleeve and the puff sleeve goes all the way to the wrist, it's going to add volume at the hip area. And that is something we're trying to avoid if we're trying to balance the body. Also, you can play with a tulip sleeve or a petal sleeve. You can do shoulder pads. You can do tops that have like a worn shoulder top, or you can do like a boat neck top, and it can be a solid top, not necessarily a stripe. If you don't want to do all that, you just want to add volume with the cut of the top and not necessarily with colors or patterns. Now, the best neckline for a lady with a pear shape are square necklines, boat necklines, and an off the shoulder top. Especially off the shoulder top with ruffles. It really broadens your shoulders and brings your eyes right here, and just makes it look very, very feminine and very pretty. I think that is a beautiful look for actually every shoulder or every shape. That off the shoulder ruffle, it just looks very, very nice and very feminine, particularly if you have a smaller to a medium-sized bust. Now, in my opinion, there are two tops that you should avoid if you have a pear-shaped body. One is a boxy top. It's just gonna do nothing for your figure whatsoever. It's gonna hide that very fabulous defined waist that you have, and it's just gonna make you look like a giant square. So you don't want that. Also, you don't want to wear a long top that hits right at your hip area. It just doesn't give it any definition to your waist, and just makes you look square and long up top, and it creates a division in your body, makes you look like you're cut in half instead of in thirds, and it just doesn't do much for your shape at all. So, but there is one caveat to that. If you want to wear that long top and you want to put a belt, you want to belt it and define your waist and maybe tuck the front in a little bit so it comes up in the front, so it makes your legs look a little longer and it's not hitting at your waist, but your waist is very defined, you can do that. Also, if the long top has horizontal stripes at the bottom near your hips, it's just going to truly draw the eye straight across your hip area and going to make them look wider than they naturally are. So you really want to avoid a long top with a horizontal stripe at the bottom, or just wearing a long top without a belt or without tucking the top in your pants. So the next category we're going to discuss is pants. And the rule of thumb here is you want to add items that flatter your curves but do not add volume. So the best pants for this particular body shape are a boot cut pant, a wide leg pant, a pair of culotte, or a palazzo pants. Each of these pants adds volume at the lower ankle or somewhere around the lower ankle, so it's going to truly help balance your hips out. A wide leg pant is going to look fabulous on you. It's going to draw the eye straight down. It's going to elongate your entire body. It's going to make your legs look very, very long. A culotte is going to do the same thing, except for it's not quite as long. It's going to add a lot of volume near your ankle, below your calves, of course, and it's just going to look really, really balanced. A boot cut is going to draw your eye all the way down and out a little bit, so it's going to really balance that look as well. And they're all just going to look very, very great. And one other thing that is really fabulous, especially right about now, is a high-waisted pant. A high-waisted pant is going to look fabulous on a lady with a pear shape, particularly if you can find a high-waisted straight leg pant. So it's gonna make your legs look extremely long. You're gonna have that nice curve at your hip. It's not gonna be extremely fitted, but it's just gonna glaze past your hips and go all the way down. It's gonna look amazing on you. So remember, high-waisted pants are your friend. Now, there are two types of pants that you should avoid if you're trying to balance your look. And one is a tapered pant, and that is because it's going to fit at your waist, it's going to fit at your hip, and it's going to go smaller at your ankle. So it's going to bring all the attention at your hip, and it's not going to balance your look. And also, you want to steer away from a skinny pant, because a skinny pant is going to do the exact same thing. Now, if you're like me and you love your skinny jeans, you wear your skinny jeans if they make you feel amazing. What my recommendation is, if you're going to wear your skinny jeans, then I would recommend doing a dark wash. So a dark wash is going to balance your look, and it's going to look fabulous on you. If you do a dark wash, particularly if you do a dark wash with a lighter color up top, like a white or a bright yellow or some other bright color, it's going to draw the eye up to that particular bright color, and vice versa. You can also do a skinny white jean, and that's pretty as well. If you do a skinny white jean, I would recommend doing a top with some texture or some color or some stripes, something that's going to draw the eye and the attention up, and that will look great as well. So if you want to accentuate those curves, go ahead and wear your skinny jeans, but those are my recommendations when you're going to do those. The next category we're going to discuss is dresses, and there are three dresses that look particularly wonderful on a pear-shaped body, and they are a tulip dress, a fit and flare, and an A-line dress. And the reason these dresses look great on this particular body shape is that they really accentuate that small waist, and they kind of glaze past the hips, just lie on the hips, and they just allow you to have your shape, and it's just still balance your entire look, and they look fabulous. An A-line dress is going to add volume at the bottom. A fit and flare is going to add volume at the bottom. But typically a tulip dress is a dress that comes all the way up here, and it usually will have some detail on the shoulder, so it's going to balance those hips as well. The dress is going to accentuate the waist, it's going to glaze past your hips, and it's going to go smaller at the bottom, but it's going to add a lot of volume up top. So it's still going to balance your proportions. And if you have a tulip dress that's a one solid color, it's going to look even better, because it's going to elongate your entire body while still balancing your look. The one dress I didn't add to this category, but she is the GOAT of all dresses and looks fabulous on every shape and size, is a wrap dress. A wrap dress is going to look amazing on you, ma'am. She's going to cut across. She's going to accentuate your waist, make your waist look even smaller than it is. She's going to allow you to see those nice curves and hips that Mother Nature gave you, but she's not going to be tight on it. She's going to hang down. She's going to add a volume at the bottom and just look fantastic. So whatever your shape, whether it be a pear shape or triangle, whatever, what have you, a wrap dress is going to look amazing on you. If you can find a wrap dress with some detail up top, that's an added bonus. Or if you're going to wear your wrap dress and you add some layered necklaces or a brooch, that's going to be an added bonus. It's going to draw the eye up, add some detail, and further balance your look. Now, the one dress that you should steer away from if you have a pear-shaped body is a boxy dress. And again, a boxy dress doesn't look really great on many body types or body shapes, but a boxy dress is really not going to do much for your shape. It hides that waist, and again, who wants to hide a waist like that? They're usually just fantastic. Now, there is a caveat again. If you want to wear a boxy dress and add a belt to accentuate your waist, now you, instead of have a boxy dress, you kind of have a fit and flare dress. And it's been my experience of when I've just been look at ladies and how they dress and their outfits and everything. A lady that has a pear-shaped body, if she wears a wider belt, unless she's a petite. If you're petite, you don't have that space to wear that wider belt. But a lady who has a pear-shaped body and wears a wider belt, it looks really, really nice, because it really, really draws your eye to that tiny waist or that small waist compared to those hips and those shoulders. So it looks fantastic. The next category is cardigans and blazers, and these look great on everyone as well. So the rule of thumb, in my opinion, for ladies who have a pear shape is for them to wear a cropped blazer or cardigan, or a longer blazer or cardigan that hits at the mid thigh. So a small cropped cardigan or blazer is going to draw the eye up. You don't want a cardigan or blazer that's going to hit right at the hip. It's just going to cut you again in half. It's going to draw the eye down to the hip area. But a shorter cropped cardigan is going to draw the eye up. My recommendation is for a lighter color cardigan. They look so nice. Like if you wear, like say, a bright yellow cardigan with a darker pant, it's going to draw the eye up, or a white cardigan with a darker pant, or vice versa. Just make sure the cardigan is cropped, or make sure you wear a cardigan or a blazer that is long past the hips that are mid-thigh, so it's not hitting right at the hip area. That's going to elongate your body and make you just look more sleeker and actually more thin. And if you don't necessarily like that cardigan hanging just long, you can also belt your cardigan. So wear your cardigan long mid-thigh, put your belt on. It's going to draw the eye down, straight down to the middle of your body, because if you have, especially if you have say a black cardigan with a white shirt on, you're going to see that white down the middle, and it's going to pop. It's just going to make you look long and lean, and that looks really, really nice, especially when it's belted. So those are my recommendations for a cardigan or a blazer. The last category is the easiest, and that's coats. It's simple. You want your coat to be belted if at all possible. It's going to add volume to your shoulders. It's going to accentuate your waist. It's going to add volumes below your calves, and it's just going to glaze past your hips. It's going to really, really balance your body. Now, oftentimes you may find a coat that does not come with a belt, and I wouldn't rule that out. If you really like the coat, you really like the color, I would purchase the coat and get one of your belts at home. You can take a belt from one of your other coats that are similar and belt it that way. It's going to look great. It's going to look like a monochromatic look with just a hint of something different. It's going to look very intentional. Or you could try a belt from a coat that looks completely opposite. Let's say if you have a navy coat and you have a yellow belt, or you have a turquoise belt from a different coat and tie that on, that's going to look fantastic as well. Well, that's it, family. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget, I'll leave links to some items I've discussed in the video in my description page. I will also leave links to some of those items on my website under this particular YouTube video with pictures, so you can go through and click on the picture and it'll take you directly to the website. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to do that. I would really, really appreciate it. And it tells YouTube that you're enjoying my content. And it tells me also that you're enjoying my content. Thank you for spending some of your valuable time with me. And I want you to have the most blessed day. Bye-bye. Talking to myself like someone's gonna respond. I'm getting tired of myself, cause I don't know what I want. But I'm not out here on